So I'm going to start with the first speaker, Mr. Julius Obe. Mr. Julius Obe, like I said, is an urban planner and a writer, a professional, an expert, an experienced one as well for that. So we thank him for joining us and we appreciate his effort to be on this program today.
Good morning, everyone. I appreciate this opportunity given to me to talk about this topic, investing ahead of growth, how to identify Abuja's next high potential location. Since the inception of Abuja as a city, the growth has been guided by many factors. Initially, Abuja was created to be a municipal city. I think that is the good point of Abuja as a city. And over time, other there have been other reasons to shape how the city grew. Abuja real estate value grows where infrastructure, institutions, and demand are actually delivered, and is actually still influenced by political will. You see, each time we have different ministers of the SCT, development tends to go to a certain direction. We can talk about the El-Rufai tenure as the FCT ministers. We can talk about the Wike tenure, which is highly concerned about the road infrastructures. So you see that the determinant of good poll in Abuja is not based on a single criteria. Today, we'll be talking about all of that, and there are 8 leading indicators, such as transport, government projects and migration, and private investment that tends to guide the growth of Abuja City. Now, let's talk about how city really grows and why it matters for investors. First of all, growth is driven by anchors, which include key hubs such as transport hub, institution, and economic centers. Like for a growth to take place, there have to be an activities in certain areas, maybe transportation, institutions like education. Like take for example, if you look at the Kubwa, we have the National Open University, we have a railway transport in Kubwa. These are major points, facilities or that drive the growth of Kubwa. Then you talk about infrastructure. Infrastructure create value. You know, when certain infrastructure pass to a place, that place tends to grow around that infrastructure. During our course of study in school, there's what we call a sector model, where development springs from major transport infrastructures mainly, such as road, railway line, and all of that. Then the plan signal intent and not outcome. Now, master plans matters in terms of development, but it's not all about having a master plan. The execution matters a lot. You know, most times, most people are just driven with, they just decide where the next growth with just the master plan, having that blueprint without checking the execution of the master plan. And there are some master plans. I think I've come across some master plans in Nigeria where you see that they prepared the master plan, but it was not implemented. So if you are guiding your development with just the master plan, definitely you will get it wrong at some point. Then another way which city grows is that expansion follows access corridors, which is talking about major routes. Take, for example, the Lugbe assistant that is growing due to the airport that is there. Then that is for that. Then how Abuja actually grew. let's talk about how Abuja is growing. Now, we talk about plan versus reality. Abuja is supposed to be guided by a master plan, but oftentimes we have seen that the growth does not go in that direction. What is a plan at some point might be changed. There might be change of land used, and the change might not be following the actual phasing. So when you are planning how the city grows, more like there is a contrast between the plan and the reality, and you have to understand where this contrast comes in for you to be able to invest. Then we talk about the master plan. Initially, Abuja started growing with the guideline of the master plan, and that's why you see these the major central areas like the Maitama, Sokoro, Wisu, and Gaki. Those areas, if you check thoroughly, you know that they follow the master plan. That is for that. Then the execution drives value. Now, this district grows when infrastructure is funded and delivered, not when they are approved. And these three real good drivers talk about funded project versus announcement. Over time, you hear that this project is being awarded. Then you have to check if the announcement falls in is being executed, not just being announced. Then land use changes. You observe land use changes. The land use changes might increase your property value. Take, for example, a residential area maybe being changed to a business district where you have a lot of infrastructures coming in, and you see that the property value in that area will automatically increase. Land use zoning shift helps to guide the growth of the city. Then you talk about government relocation institution, where ministries are relocated to. Take, for example, the relocation of the FCT from Lagos to Abuja brought about a major development and growth to Abuja. So even within Abuja, you have to look for the relocation of government institutions and parastatals, because those institutions will help to guide the growth of whichever area it is being relocated to. Take, for example, you carrying the development, not development, FCDA, to a place like Gwagwalada. You see that because of transportation, the staffs that are working under FCDA, because of transportation cost, they would want to move into place like Gwagwalada to reduce the cost of transportation. And you see that development will be moving to that area because of just that institution. Then affordability. Affordability plays a major role in Abuja growth. You see, Kubwa is crowded now, and you see places like Duse, Buhari. You see these places, people move there because of affordability. The central area is already expensive for people to live, and you see that in the society there is always that class, that disparity between the rich and the poor. Imagine someone earning just a regular salary trying to live in an area that is very costly. That is not possible. So you see that people tend to go to where they can afford. And if we want to talk about poverty rate in Nigeria, is actually high. So I believe that plays a major role in the growth of Abuja as a city. Now, the core insight from this is that demand moves first and infrastructure follows. What this means is that in Nigeria, how places grow in Nigeria is not all about infrastructure, which is how it is supposed to be. In an advanced world, you get your infrastructure first. But in Abuja here, it is the demand that moves first. When the demand moves first, you see that people want to, that is where they agitate for infrastructures and utility. And this is what investors should take away. Real opportunity lies where policy, capital, and demand are quietly aligning, not just where development is planned. So it's not just all about planning, it's understanding that these policies and capital, they all align, and demand, these three things, they align together. That is where how to identify the a potential growth. Then let's talk about tracking political shift, because when you talk about this topic, we politics plays a major role in terms of identifying the next growth pool. First of all, you follow the money. It's not just all about hearing that a project is being announced, that it's in the budget, or okay, that there is an intent. You have to understand that there is a budget for this, meaning the possibility for that project that is announced to be executed is high. You have to understand that in politics. Then you watch your government movement, agencies, military, and institution drive demand. Like, you watch what they are investing in, where these institutions, where they are going to the areas. Like, take for example, if you look at the airport road as is, I think the military has a major properties there. And if you see the military, they are investing in a particular sector, it definitely means that that area is bound to grow. It has potential to grow. Then you separate policy from execution, which is, you have to understand that it is not just policy that will create value. Having the knowledge that there is a policy that will guide development in a particular area does not just increase the value, it still keep the value as same. It is only when these policies are being implemented, that is when these values will create, these properties will create value. Then you monitor land signals, you understand the zoning changes and new allocations. Look at what this area is being zoned for. If it is zoned for green area, if it is zoned for being an industrial area or a business district, or even a residential layout. You know, property values between these zonings differs. Like, take for example, I think the property value in a business district is more higher than that of a residential district. Then if an area is being zoned for a green area, definitely the property value there won't be high, because I see that more like a, should I say, a community service or environmental service, in the sense that in green areas, what you just see there is not a building, it's just you trying to balance the ecosystem. So most of your properties in terms of real estate, you might be just for recreational purpose. Then you, another thing you need to observe in terms of politics is observe enforcement actions, demolitions and clearance. In an area that they want to develop, you definitely see that, especially in those areas that are slum ghettos, government move to demolish and clear that area for a new development. When you see that governments are demolishing and clearing an area, you have to take the conscious of the growth of that area, get all the details that you need to know to understand what is going to happen in that area. Don't just hear that they are demolishing this area and you just stay mute. Demolition and clearance often precedes redevelopment. Then you understand political cycles. Redirection emerges after elections, not before. What this means is that you understand the intent of this government. This is where you have to understand the power that be, what is driving their interest. You have to understand all of this, which area they are heading to in terms of development. If you look at this administration in Abuja, what this administration is mainly focused on is on road infrastructure. Now, you clearly know that wherever there is a proposed road, definitely that place is can be termed a growth pool. Take for example, this Kasana has this Arab road and other road facilities that are being created here in Abuja. Then you also leverage on local intelligence. You don't just assume that this is what you're hearing. You gather information from locals within that area to understand how what is existing there, what is proposed, and what is really happening in that environment. Now we go over to the next topic, why the master plan alone won't predict appreciation. Now, approval is not delivery. Like I said initially, you can have your master plan, it is being gazetted, but it is not implemented. If it is not implemented, there is no way you can purchase a property because of a master plan. Like, okay, this place is zoned or being a residential area, you got it and you say, it falls in line with the zoning ordinance, and you feel your property will just add value. That's implementation of that master plan, implementing all what is in that master plan in terms of infrastructure, utility, and services. That land will definitely lose its value. It will become a bush. Then discretion governs sequence. The order in which land is open funded really match the phasing on paper. What this means is that most times in Nigeria, we don't actually follow phasing in terms of our master plan. It comes with interest. Say for example, we can have a master plan, and maybe phase one implementation might be just creation of infrastructure. Phase two might be creation of housing unit. Why? Phase three might be just in developing the commercial zone. But oftentimes we see that a new administration might come in and might be interested in phase two instead of phase one. Another administration might come and it might be interested in phase one instead of phase three. So you see that it does not just follow the phasing stage. You cannot just use the phasing stage to decide that this property will yield much value in the future. Then the land use change quietly. Designation are altered, waiver encroach upon. So today's low density green area may carry a different use tomorrow. The map is a snapshot, not a contract. Now, what this means is that what is on the map might not actually be what is on ground. It does not just tell you that your land property is showing in the master plan. It means that your land will have value. You might be having other challenges. You might be having a change of a land use from residential to green area. There might be encroachment. Maybe government might want to use your land tomorrow. So this makes the master plan not having that single power to determine the next point for growth. Then we talk about number 4, informal growth across the plan. Due to the poverty rate in Nigeria, we see that people actually don't wait to follow the plan. They do encroaching, like government is taking things gradually, but the population and that number of persons that are poor can't wait, can't be patient enough for the government to implement this phasing stage. You see that they want to provide for themselves in terms of accommodation, even infrastructures. You see people making their own personal development, which does not fall in line with the master plan. At the end of the day, you see urban sprawl, you see squatter settlement and ghettos because of this informal growth. And title, the fifth, which is not the least, title is not the same as value. You might have your documents, your land being checked, all of that, but it doesn't amount as value for your land property. Uh, Take for example, you have your master plan, your your land property falls in between the master plan, but it does not remove those uncertainties, those challenges and land disputes from the land. You can have a clean district map, says nothing about acquisition. The master plan does not tell you about acquisition disputes. It does not tell you about overlapping claims where maybe you encroach into someone's property. The master plans does not tell you all of that. Or it does not tell you servicing when you are going to have this infrastructure or not. It just states the phasing. And it still does not tell you the demand, the area that this is the area where that development or growth is highly demanded. So use the master plan as one input in a forecast, not using it to generalize the growth pool of any property. You use it, this is just one part of it, not the general part. We go over to indicators that lead price. Real estate price don't move first. Here we talk about transport infrastructure. Not just when these infrastructures are available, you see that your property value tends to increase. When you talk about this, you talk about funded routes, courts, and interchanges, bringing modern transport system like monorails, train tracks, uh, airports, and roads. These transport infrastructures help to increase property value, and wherever you see that road path, that place is bound to have development. Then you watch out for government projects, agencies, relocations, and public development, where these institutions are going to. The movement of one government project, like the other day, I think they talked about the NPA seaport opening in Warrior, and I was telling my friend that if this will be implemented, definitely you see that this place we have the property value in this state, in Warrior and environ, will increase because you see business trooping in, people coming there to live just to be close to where they are working. You see that this transport infrastructure, this government project has made the property value in that state to increase. Then you talk of utilities, you talk of power. People won't purchase a property in place that doesn't have power. Say for example, I think there was somebody I knew that bought a property. They said that this land is going to yield a profit in the near future. They are selling, it is cheap, but there is no utility line to that property. There is no plan, no lights, no water, and even drainage system. Now, tell me how long you feel that place is going to develop. Nobody will want to build in somewhere that there is no light, even if he has all the own money. He will prefer to purchase somewhere, and for somewhere to develop, somebody has to build, another person will build, and you see that people will be building, and a man cannot. It's very difficult for a man to bring the utility to somewhere that is underdeveloped. if not government. So you look out for utilities when you want to site somewhere that is going to yield profit. Then private investments. What are private looking forward to? What are private investment? Was a property a friend of mine bought, which was located in a mechanic site. Now you see that growth around that area was being centered on that mechanic village where you sell mechanic spare parts. Then you look at this super mechanic site. If you critically look and analyze it, you see that the growth here, the mechanic site here actually had influence in the growth of that area. Then you look at population shifts where people move to for affordability. If you see that an area is affordable and people are moving there, you know that that place is a good deal for you to invest in, because definitely you see people that want to go there, they believe that that place is affordable for them, it's cheaper and accommodating for them. You see people want to move to that area. So you look into all of this, why you want to seek your boss for the next growth center. Then commercial activity and economic cluster, you look into all of this. Market drives development and growth. You see the Onitsha market, that is a major example of how economic clusters can guide the development of any cities. So you don't just, these indicators, you take it seriously whenever you are trying to analyze the next place for you to invest in. Then a practical framework. We talk about the 5 lenses for evaluating a location. Now, this is not a law, it's just something I came up with. These are the lenses you look when you want to invest in an area. First of all, we look at planning and you ask yourself, is it designated, serviceable, and stable? Most times people buy land in places that are not even planned. There is no plan, and how can a man without a plan is definitely has no goal or aim to achieve. So if you are buying a land somewhere that is not planned, then you are losing it. And this is what a strong core should look like. It should be gazetted with a clear funded service plan, meaning if you are not just looking at the plan alone, you know that this plan is being funded. Because if you just go by just the plan alone, you get lost at the long run. What you need to look as red flag is green area or right of way conversion risks. Here, your green area, you see that, okay, they say this place is planned, and what is being planned there is not, the plan on paper is not what is being implemented. Then you know that this area will definitely have some challenges in future. Then you look at infrastructure, what is committed and what is built. If there is road, power, and water budgeted, and if these infrastructures are put in place, you definitely know that that area is a good buy for you. Then, if you notice that an area is just all about announcement that government is going to do this, good, government is going to provide this and all of that, and you see no sign of implementation, you have to run away from that investment, because at the long run, after buying the property, you keep on waiting for years for your property to have value, to appreciate, and you might not have it due to political will. Then we go to the third lens. You look at the political from the political perspective. Who is going to benefit and how durable is it? Support these survivors across multiple budget cycles. Now you take your time to look at the budget. the from the political perspective, then you look at the person in office. What is his interest? Like, for example, I keep talking about VK is interested in roads. Now, you know that wherever the budget that they are going to fix the road, you definitely know that that's a good buy. It's not something that it will be more like a promise and fee. It's something that the government will definitely implement that poly, infrastructure. They will definitely carry that out that infrastructure. Then you look at single sponsor election circle project. Now, this is where you have to be highly, should I say, technical. You know, most times government do projects before the end of their tenure. They are unable to complete such projects. And after that, you see that the next administration will move to another project without completing that one. Then you find out that the property value in that area will definitely diminish because there is nothing happening there. So you look at this, you look at the time frame. If this project, if it is viable, if it is something the government is going to achieve before you take a buy. Then you talk about market. Is you look at the central question: is real demand and capital arriving? Real estate developers will just come. You know, most persons will tell you that this area, this is where the demand is now. This is where people are moving to, and you just buy. You just buy without asking yourself that question: is real demand and capital arriving? Are people really investing in this area? They will tell you that give it from now to 10 years, the price is cheap. You have to consider if these are realistic. That is active transaction. If people are really buying this property, or they are just telling you worse. Then you look at the key red flag to look in terms of market is price driven by marketing alone, where they have to tell you that this land is cheap, it is going to develop in the nearest future within 4 to 5 years. Government is coming to do this and do that. You have to look if these are real, then the risks, what could we erase the upside down? This is where we talk about verification of land documents and acquisition. Look if there is dispute in this property. You know, when a land has dispute, definitely the value will reduce. That is if you even have someone that will want to invest in that property. So what a strong score is verifiable document and no acquisition dispute, meaning all documents, the C of O, they are intact. Then when you hear acquisition or revocation overhand, or even a change of land use, you have to take your time to think about this before investing. Now, this course here is not just is something I generated myself. Maybe you can have your own score sheet, but when you look at all of this, you analyze all of this together, not just one single factor. You don't just pick planning and feel that, oh, this area is planned, then I can definitely invest my money there, and you will lose. You have to analyze these 5 lenses: infrastructure, planning, political will, market, and risks before you invest. When you analyze all of this, you score yourself. If it is above 50, then you know that if it is a good buy. Then if it is below, then you know that you are buying something that won't yield you profit. There is no growth in that area. There is some growth corridor in Abuja just to educate us. We have the airport road and Lugbe. The primary driver there is the expressway expansion and proximity to the airport. That is the what is driving the development in the airport road and Lugbe houses. Then you have the Guaripa houses, which is already developed. That is large scale public housing servicing. That is why you see today we always say that Gwarimpa is the biggest estate in West Africa because the primary driver there is housing. You look at the Jabi, Utako, and Life Camp, you see commercial anchors, such as the include. Then you talk about the Guzape and Kantape extension, Kubwa Expressway. You see that the expressway Kubwa is being developed due to the expressway and the way access plus the affordability. The Idu is more like an industrial designation and a rail station, which is more like an economic driver, economic driven development axis. These are some of the axes in Abuja where we need to look for growth for. Some of them are grown while some are still in the process. But when you are looking into all of this, make sure you make use of the 5 lanes in making your decision. We talk about speculation or genuine growth, how to tell them apart. Now, signs of speculative markets. Speculative markets are price driven by marketing and hype, not servicing or demand. Most times you see people just hype, especially now that everybody wants to be a realtor. You see the hype that come to this estate. This estate is 5 minutes away from a city center. This estate is close. This estate has green infrastructure, all of that. Then you don't have to follow all of those hype. You have to critically analyze if what they are saying is true. Then off-plan estate with no verifiable allocation or title. There are some estates that don't have the required document to secure or safeguard your property. Investing in such estates will only bring you loss. Then there are some that does not have committed budget infrastructure anywhere nearby. They are just growing like you see an estate where they just allocate plots to people without even having a budget for the infrastructure. Maybe at the end of the day, you see people that purchase land there will end up being the one trying to develop the infrastructures themselves. Then distance from any real institution or economic anchor. This is one thing you should look at in determining a growth pool in a city, because most times you can't just take people away from activity. You know, all these activities, they are intertwined. Like a man needs to go to out there to make money. This is where the relationship the residential area has with the economic centers, where you want to consider the cost it will take you from your home to work. You want to consider the cost it will take you from your home to the market to get things. So when you are determining where to invest, you have to consider the distance and the inconvenience it take you for you to live wherever you are to access infrastructures, utilities, and services. Then flying estates, those estates that are sold without approval or an approved layout, where most times you see most estates they are just even subdivided by surveyors without approval. They just on paper they divide plot, allocate plots to individuals without having a designated layout plan that is approved, funded, and implemented. You just buy a piece of land. That land will definitely not yield you value in the future. It will just stay as it is. Then the signs of genuine growth, infrastructure that is projected, contracted, and visibly underway. Like I said initially, when you see that these infrastructures, utilities, they are not just announced, they are being implemented. That is a green light that this place is going to grow. By the time you can even start from just seeing the grading, not necessarily seeing that the road. When you see that, oh, the government, they are grading this part, they are trying to, the surveyors, they are trying to coordinate all of that, then you know that this is a good buy, not just some infrastructure that are announced. Then active construction and recorded transaction. If you see that people are actually buying and developing, not just one person, you see that this area people are buying, you see somebody close by, that they are doing something, redevelopment is happening there, then that is your sign for you to invest in such location. And institution or economic anchor, when you see that you look at the proximity between major economic anchor and institutions such as hospitals, schools, markets, all of that. Then you check the title and approved layout and progressive service and rising occupancy over time. With all of this, you can decide the next growth pool in the city of Abuja. You know, this is not something that is, how will I put it? It's not something that is certain. The Abuja real estate market is full of uncertainties because, like I believe, it's mainly influenced by political beliefs. So, for you to bridge the gap, you have to ensure that you analyze all of this, and a layman can't do that. You definitely need an expert to help you piece all of this together, help you analyze this, and give you professional advice and guidance on the next place for you to invest. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Julius Obe. What a wonderful and insightful words from you. So I believe we all learned one or two because basically I learned as well. Especially the topic means a lot to me, especially when it comes to investments and for we to know the next Buzape, because not everyone is going to be the next Buzape, irrespective of the hype. Yes, that's what I believe. Not everyone will be the next Buzape, irrespective of the hype. So I think it open our mind to all the things involved, including the political way, infrastructure, and policies which affect growth. So our questions, we should keep it down because I'm seeing some questions. We should keep it down till after the next speaker. So I'll open the floor for architect Oguns Victor Onesim. Is an architect with extensive experience in design, construction, and real estate industry, having successfully contributed to projects both within Abuja and across the region of Nigeria over the years. He has worked with various reputable construction and real estate firms, gaining valuable expertise in architectural design, projects, and delivery. Currently serving as the project lead architect of Autotech Space Project Limited. He lead a great team in planning, design, and execution of diverse development projects, ensuring excellency from concept to completion. The architect Oguns Victor Nensi is a graduate of Ambrose Ali University, where he earned his architectural education, and he laid the foundation for his career dedicated to shaping communities and advancing the built environment in Nigeria. So his commitment to professionalism, innovation, and sustainable development continues to position him as a valuable contributor to architecture, construction, the real estate environment, and not also that, Nigeria as a whole. So, Mr. Oguns, once again, I welcome you to this series of our webinar. So the floor is open for you to take charge.
I don't know. Can you hear me? I don't know if
For
you
you
can
to
hear
take
me.
charge. Yes, we can hear you.
Correct. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I really appreciate. Yeah, I've listened to the first speaker, and yeah, said it all. Yeah, said it all based on his expertise and as an urban planner. Yeah, the topic here before us: investing ahead of growth. How to identify Abuja as high potential location. Sorry, I will not be able to share the slide because currently I'm in a meeting. I just excused myself so I could talk. I don't know if you can grant me that permission, please.
No problem. They are granted.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Yeah, so we see investing ahead of growth. That word is very, very critical because so many persons are really afraid. They are afraid to invest ahead of growth. They want to invest now, and see what they're investing for and get it, but they don't know that you focusing on the future, seeing what the future have ahead of you, it determines your longevity of wealth. It determines how long your money or your wealth will be. So investing ahead of growth, not seeing the reality now, but knowing that the reality will be seen in the future. Like one of my mentors would say, he say, let's be mad now, so that in the future, the people who call us mad, we will call them madness. So invest in the growth now. Why everywhere is still bushy? But by the time whereby everywhere is now open, for you to get that place that you want to get before, you might be crying um, at I know. So as we go ahead, we will see some factors that hinder growth in an environment, and we'll take one particular place as a case study. I don't know if any of us know Sun City Estate. I don't know if we know the estate, Sun City Estate. Do we know the estate?
Yes, we do.
Sun City Estate at uh, Galadima. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, I've worked with the owner of Atcan Group, and when he was discussing with me, there is something he said. He said those years, that estate is about 25 years. He started that estate 25 years ago. So he said that time that place is a bush that people don't want to even go there. That place is not even part of Abuja. They are not even seeing it as part of Abuja as a whole. But he saw the vision. He saw the vision that yes, let's do this. This can be attainable. This can be achievable. And he called some few persons. And let us know that we can't do it alone. That's why we are in this webinar. We're enlightening us to do things together. So he called some few persons who have the same mind as he is. And today, those persons are part of his directors in Atcan Group right now. So, and when he saw the vision, that yes, this place can be turned into a modern city. And right now, if you go to Sun City, you know that Sun City is a modern city. And let me shock you, that estate is still developing. There's still project going on. There's still project going on. Even till the next 5 years, they'll still be building. They'll still be building. So it is advisable for all for understand that investing ahead of growth is not stupid, but it is something that you look back on and thank God because you did that. Abuja is a very Abuja is a growing city. Abuja is not grown yet. Abuja is still a growing city. Yeah, still a growing city. So we need to take this opportunity to invest and have our share of the national cake. Very, very important. Very, very important. So we see here that uh, the biggest profits in real estate are usually made before. an area become popular, not after. Let's get this. The biggest profits in real estate are usually made before an area becomes popular, not after. I'm still going to take case study of Sun City Estate. We see what is it now, and when have explained it before. So it's better to invest now than after you will enjoy what you are investing. So we see that examples of the most successful investors identify growth corridors. As an investor, you have to identify growth corridors. Let me give you number one. Let me give you some of the growth corridors you have to identify. Number one, we see new transport corridors. We see in Abuja now. Thank God for our minister. In case any of you is saying, I don't know whether you are in different political parties, but that one is not our concern. What we are seeing is that the FCT minister is doing his best. He's working in Abuja. And you can see different road networks already in Abuja. If you go to Airport Road, you see the road network. If you even go to, I think they are going outskirts of Abuja towards Nasarawa, you go to Nyanya axis, Karasis, you see the road network, the bridges that is, those are identity of growth in an environment. We see new transport corridor, we see new business districts. Now in Abuja, we have just, is it 2 or 3 business districts? We have Use, Ametama. Those are the major business districts in Abuja. Use, Ametama. Now, the hand is shifting from that side towards this other area, towards the Galadima area, towards the Kasana area, towards the Life Camp area. The thing is shifting because now that district is already full. It's almost, it's not even, it's almost full. It's already full. So those are corridors we have to be looking at as well. Also, we see government-backed infrastructural zones. Like our former speaker has said, we have to look at planning. Planning is very, very important. We take the master plan. I have the Abuja master plan. In case you need it, you can ask it later. I will give it to you. You have the Abuja master plan. You can also look at it and look at the area. If you look at the Abuja master plan, you will wonder where's the houses that you are seeing in Abuja, because let me tell you, there are some buffer areas. When I mean buffer areas, there are some green areas, there are some bushes that is in Abuja that people have not gone to before. Okay, let me give you another example. If you are going to airport, once you pass Lube, you can see various exits, various infrastructures that is going towards that area now. But before, that place is just, if you are passing through that place, you are going to, yeah, if you are passing through that place is just a bush. But now, the place is now exposed. Is now becoming to be refined. Those are people who have the mindset of growth. Those are people who have future mindset of growth to identify such areas. Like I'm saying, if you look at the master plan, the Abuja master plan, it is half of, okay, let me not say half, quarter of the land in Abuja have not been used. All right, well, we have to identify the Abuja growth story. You see why Abuja continue to expand. If you look at Lagos, you know that most people who are working in Lagos, they are staying in Ogun State. So some are even staying in Ibadan. See the interconnection between the both cities. Why? Because Lagos is full, and people are now trying to live towards the exits, so that they can be able to walk towards the other side. And that is the same thing that will happen to Abuja in a few years from now. People will start moving to Nasarawa State because Nasarawa is the closest to Abuja, and they're working in Abuja here. Currently, let me expose myself. Currently, we are on time of about 5,000 housing in Karo. You see that Karo, once that place is now developed, you will not know the difference between Karo and Abuja again. So we are on a 5,000 housing units I did the master plan of the housing. I did the design, and it's currently in the Ministry of Works in Nasarawa State for approval. So you see, things are moving towards such direction. It's not because it is something we because it is not Abuja per se, but on the long run, it will. I don't know if some persons have gone to Lagos, you've seen Lagos, you've seen Ogun State. Ogun State surround Lagos. You will not even know. Once you cross the bridge, they'll tell you this is Ogun State. Once you cross the other bridge, they'll tell you this is Lagos. That's the same thing that will happen to Abuja and Nasarawa State. You understand? So those are those are growths we see in Abuja success story, in Abuja core values in terms of growth and development. You see, the population as well in Abuja is fast growing. People are dashing into Abuja. People are coming from different areas to Abuja, from different countries to Abuja. Of recent, and again, I'm like I said before, my case study is Sun City Estate. So let me also go digress also to Sun City Estate. The owner of Sun City Estate is hiring expatriates from Pakistan, from China to come to Nigeria for this housing for this housing project. The first housing project that I'm talking about is being done by Atkan, that is Sun City, the owner of Sun City Estate in Karo. So he has started importing people from different countries to come and oversee, to come and supervise the project, bringing their expertise. Those are things that